Hello and welcome to the Thingcast, the return of the Thingcast. So, welcome. This is the show where this is the live stream where I take a bunch of things and I talk about those things and I talk live with you about those things. And there's a live chat and I can read the live chat and I can talk to you. And, this entire setup was brought to you by my wonderful Patreon subscribers. So thank you very much for getting this all set up. And hello to everyone in the chat. We got people from all over the world, so it's always kind of exciting to see everyone in here. So let me know if there are any audio problems or anything like that. The audio quality will not be fantastic because this will be the live version, and then later on I'll upload the kind of edited, slightly nicer version, slightly fancier version. But hello, all of you. Today, what we're going to be talking about while we go through today's roughly 1 hour live stream is we're going to be talking about the Sony MDR1000X. I'll give you some of my first impressions on this. I just got this. What is that noise? Oh, there you go. There you go. Touch sensitive controls. That's how music gets started. Is it still going? Yeah, okay, so I'll have things to say about that. I'll also have some things to say about the games I've been playing on my PS4 Pro, because I got a bunch of them. So I'll make some, not going to be reviews or anything like that, but I'll make some commentary. And then throughout, I will be talking with you peeps in the live chat. So, getting from a lot of you that there is an audio delay. I actually do not know why that happens, because it does happen occasionally with these live streams. There's nothing that I can really do on my end to sort of fix the problem, but if you are having audio delay issues, you can maybe kind of restart the stream. Adam Nelson says, I'm watching this with my dad. I actually had a chance to visit with Adam because he made a trip over to Australia and sort of met up with him and his family. It was really awesome. Right in the middle of the election as well. So it was interesting to get the perspective of someone who was from the United States during that time. And we're living in interesting times now, is what I would say. But let's firstly, I just want to hear where is everyone coming in from, which countries, because that is always interesting to hear. There's always some real surprises. We got someone from France, Cambridge, UK. Let's see. Something in a script that I cannot read. But I think we've got a fair amount of people in here from all over the world. It's always kind of cool to do these live streams, and I decided it would be nice to get back into the flow of things. So while we let's talk about the first thing today. So recently I got the Sony MDR1000X. So this is the step up fancy noise cancelling headphone that's like the flagship, one above the MDR100 ABN. I actually had no idea that Sony was even really making these until they were announced at IFA. The price of this headphone in Australia is 700 Australian dollars, 699. Now I got this at JB Hi-Fi. It was on sale for 493 Australian dollars, which is really surprising for a new release product. I think it was a kind of thing where JB was doing 20% off all Sony headphones, and it was just during the window of this release, so it was included as part of that release. But you should know that my impressions of this headphone are sort of colored by the fact that I did pay significantly less for them than the retail asking price. So we got a bunch of other people chiming in. Madeira Island, somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, United States, North Carolina, Australia, Indonesia, South Texas. People all over the world. So we've got a real melting pot here. This is the 1000X. It does noise cancelling, and Sony claimed that the noise cancelling is actually better than any other competing headphone on the market, and they don't explicitly name call the Bose QC35, but you can see that they're actually referencing that. I'll tell you right off the bat, this thing is almost close to an end game portable for me. And I don't mean end game in the sense that it's perfect, because it's not a perfect headphone, but it fixes all the things that I wanted fixed in the 100 ABN. Well, most of the things I wanted fixed in the 100 ABN. It's basically got a very similar sound profile to the 100 ABN, which I liked a lot in comparison with the Bose QC35. But it does it in a more comfortable package. It's more comfortable than the 100 ABN. It has better noise cancelling than the 100 ABN. I don't know if it has better noise cancelling than the Bose. They both do very, very well. One nicety is that you can actually turn off the noise cancelling on the 100 ABN. You can engage in different noise cancelling modes, so you can get it to cancel out more or less of the ambient noise. It has this kind of weird optimizer that you can press this button and it runs through this boom, 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 like tone sequence where it sort of optimizes for the background noise to give you the best noise cancelling profile. And most importantly, the noise cancelling doesn't have that weird electronic chirping or as much of the fizzing or the hissing as the 100 ABN. I don't think it's still quite as dead quiet as the Bose QC35, but that's really neither here nor there. It was the chirping, it was the kind of weird electronic noises from the 100 ABN that I had a big problem with. I wouldn't say big problem, but that was one of the big drawbacks of the noise cancelling, and they've fixed that on the 1000X. It's also got a bunch of like touch sensitive controls. So you can double press this, double click, and then it starts playing. Tap it twice, it pauses. If you stroke the headphone up or down, then the volume goes up and down. And if you stroke it forward or backwards, then it goes next track or previous track. I actually thought that I would hate these gesture controls because they'd be too easy to accidentally activate. They are a little annoying sometimes. Sometimes when you want to go up or down, it registers as forward or backwards, that sort of thing. It's not easy to accidentally trigger the double tap though, because that's a little bit more of a deliberate gesture. I actually think that the gestural controls are pretty good because you can very quickly start and stop the audio. The other cool thing is that you can put your hand up on the side like that, and it stops the noise cancelling for a second, so you can and it lowers the music, so you can actually have a conversation with people. It's actually really funny because you look a bit weird. I've tried this actually, talking to people when I was making an order. I just go like, excuse me, can I get a smashed avocado on toast or something? And the music will cut out. But it honestly looks a bit weird. You actually have to make sure you cover the entire thing. It will only register that as a gesture. It's not based on proximity. It's actually based on contact. So you basically have to cover that entire side of the ear cup. No gesture controls on the left side. There is NFC on the left and the right sides of the ear cup. Just started the audio again. Overall, really impressed. Now, for $699, I don't know, quite frankly, if Sony had priced this at the price of the QC35, they would be kind of like they'd own the market, basically, because I think that this easily outcompetes the QC35, but it should outcompete the QC35 because it's more expensive. It's significantly more expensive. Now, even if you get on sale like I did, it's still a fair bit more expensive, I think. I can't remember if the retail price of the QC35 is $499 or $399. But it's very well built. It's a very, very nice headphone. If you can get it on sale, I say this is great. Like, if you like the sound of the 100 ABN, if you like Sony's new house sound, which means it's sort of chesty kind of mid-bass sound with a bit of bass roll-off at the very lowest frequencies, and then sort of a whispery treble section, a lot of kind of shimmer, I guess you would say, but not as much in the lower vocals. So it's not a natural sound like the new Sony house sound. It's not a natural sound, but I think it's really good. So I'll jump into the live chat now just to see, because I probably missed a bunch of questions about this. Let's go blah, 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 blah. So Francis says, Francis from Brisbane, oh wait, sorry, let me start again. Francis Nagwati, sorry if I got that wrong, says that from Brisbane, but in California on holidays, keen to try the Sony MDR1000X for my flight home. Let me know how much these cost in the US, whether you can buy these or not. The one thing about Sony is that you can get them on discount in ways that you usually can't find Bose headphones, which is sort of cool. I don't know how well these will perform on a plane, but I imagine they'll perform pretty well. One thing is I noticed that the noise cancelling doesn't quite make me feel as nauseous as maybe the Bose QC35 does, which is a blessing. I don't know what it is about the Bose noise cancelling. It does make you feel a bit nauseous. Most of the times, it's not a problem. Sometimes though, like for instance on my last plane trip in Hong Kong, it was basically a 8-9 hour flight, a lot of turbulence. I felt sick most of the times. I couldn't wear the Bose because when I wore it, it actually made me feel more sick, which is not great. These are good headphones though. That is sort of my first impressions. I've used them for like about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks now. I really have enjoyed using these. These are really great headphones. The touch sensitive control is freaking out, so I'm just going to turn it off. Battery life is about 20 hours. It's not as good as like say the Beat Solo 3 that I've been using. Definitely doesn't feel as surprising in terms of battery life. In terms of comfort, so Okami asks, how is the comfort on these compared to the QC35, particularly with glasses? So I would say they're both actually fairly comfortable with glasses because they both have a fairly light clamping force. One thing to note is that the ear pads, like on the QC35, are sort of maybe a bit shallower than your sort of usual ear pad. But it should be okay unless your glasses frames are really, really thick. Again, with glasses, noise cancelling headphones are not always going to be working optimally, particularly if your glasses induce a leak. That's why I got these Ray-Ban glasses. I got these specially because the frames are so thin and they're so light, and they're also they conform very closely to the side of my head. So they're really good with headphones. Because I wear a lot of headphones, I had to get, it's not like I got prescription glasses, but essentially that's what it is. Let's Play in High Def asks Momentum 2.0 comparison. I have actually not yet really tried the noise cancelling Sennheiser, and I don't know why that is because it is available at Minidisc to demo. I just haven't gotten around to really trying it. I do know that the noise cancelling on the Sennheiser models that I've tried, I tried the new PXC, I think it was the PXC 550. Noise cancelling is really hissy. It's really a really noticeable electronic hiss. As far as I can tell, Sennheiser has not worked out how to do noise cancelling as well as Bose. Sony has apparently made improvements to the way they do noise cancelling because this is a step up from the 100 ABN. But that's that's kind of I'm sure the sound of the Momentum is decent, but there's only so many noise cancelling headphones for this price. What Sony is actually competing with the Momentum 2.0, but also in terms of price, they're competing with the Parrot Zik 2.0, which I again have not really tried it. I've always felt that that design from Parrot though is a little heavy, a little bulky in comparison. They're also competing with, I guess, the Bang & Olufsen H8, which is a very aggressive sounding headphone. If you've ever tried it, it's like a little on-ear headphone. It's all right. It's just quite mid-bassy with quite an aggressive sort of treble note as well. It's not the most balanced. Then again, this isn't the most balanced either. But this has a sort of mellowness to it that I don't mind. It's not a perfect sound. I wouldn't want to live with this 24/7. But as a noise cancelling portable headphone, really fantastic. And then we're just gonna wrap up the just check in here with the live stream again. And if you are joining us, this is a live stream. Or if you're joining us live, then this is a live stream. If you're joining us later, then it's really sort of, a moot point. But Richard Smith says, I use huge open backs most of the times, but I would like a nice set of portable wireless headphones. Fidelio X2s are a bit ridiculous to go out with. Again, I've seen many people wear many headphones that I think are very ill-suited for portable use. Grado, I'm looking at you. Grado headphones, I think are truly stupid designs to be using as portable headphones because they're completely open. I don't get why. You see people walk around with Grado headphones. They are the original Brooklyn artisanal hipster headphone company. That isn't to say that they're not bad. I mean, they're not good because they most Grados I've heard sound decent. They have nice mids, but they're not portable headphones. And you see people wearing them portably, and I go, well, good luck with that hearing damage because that's what you're going to get if you wear open headphones outside. You're going to turn up the volume to compensate for ambient noise, and you will damage your ears. That's basically it. So that's the advantage of noise cancelling headphones. Okay, so Sean Ho asked, and this is the question that everyone wants to know. Are you growing out a top knot? So you may have noticed in various videos that I've had a kind of fluctuation as far as the hair situation goes. I actually do not know what my hair strategy is going forward. I don't want to do the sort of Newtown. Oh, Newtown is an area in Sydney, if you don't know. I don't really want to do the Newtown kind of top knot look, although that's sort of what's happening here at the moment. But I can't work out exactly what I do. Right now it's a bit too long to kind of let it hang out the front. So this is sort of a transitionary state while I kind of work this out. I promise you that that we will find a resolution with this hair together. And if you have any suggestions, then please, by all means, leave them in the live chat. Kit Hong Tan says, so what do you do with the audio once you upload this cast later? Do you have a second external recorder or do you just run noise reduction? Actually, that's exactly what just fell on the floor just a second ago. This is the external recorder. This is the lavalier microphone that I'm using right now. You are not hearing audio from this. This goes into this. I will upload, maybe, I'll see how it goes, but I will upload another version later with this audio, with the direct camera feed, as opposed to the archive, because what YouTube gets is it'll probably get pauses, interruptions, stutters, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's talk about my PlayStation 4 Pro and my experiences with the various games. I'm going to get a drink of water first. My Netsu Nico Atsume cup, by the way. Got this in Hong Kong. Awesome. Okay, so I got my PS4 Pro. If you missed the unboxing, I got it because I don't have a PlayStation before. I don't have a 4K television. I don't have a HDR television, but I figured if you're going to get a new PlayStation at this point in time, you may as well just get the one that is more future-proof. So I got a few games with it. I got Doom. So you're going to call me a console peasant. Honestly, I don't have a gaming PC. I don't have the room for a gaming PC. My computer cannot run this game in the same way that the PS4 Pro can. And I have to boot into Windows, all this kind of annoying stuff. I haven't played that much of it. I've played probably about 3 or 4 hours of it. It is fantastic. Like I'm sure you all know because I heard the reviews were very good for this game. I was a big fan of the first 2 hours of Doom 3. Like I really liked Doom 3 because the way that they used the lighting, and at that point in time, the lighting on that game was phenomenal. Nowadays, when you look at Doom 3 and you look at everyone, they look like glossy plastic, really weird graphics. But at the time, it was amazing. I mean, I'm not a big FPS sort of gamer. This, though, it was very different from Doom 3 in the sense that it's much more fast-paced. You constantly have to move around. It reminds me very much of Serious Sam. If you've ever played any of the Serious Sam games, that's what this game reminds me of. But I just love the way that you're going through hallways shooting up demons. They're traversing the entire terrain. You kind of really had to be on your toes. I'm not particularly good at this game, but I really like that frenetic pace. And this is an R18 plus game. Thank you to the Australian government for finally taking off the training wheels and allowing us to play these awful violent games. I found it very fun, but again, I'm not very good at it. So it's sort of one of those things where I go, I feel like playing a bit of this, and then I play it, and then I die a few times, and I go, okay, I'm a little bit over it at the moment, but looks great. Looks great on the PS4 Pro. Fantastic. That's what I had to say about that. I was sort of surprised because I have mixed feelings about Bethesda, which I will talk about because this is Fallout 4, which is something else I got. And I got this pretty much, not immediately after I got the PS4 Pro, but I got it a few days afterwards because I realized I'm probably going to finish Life is Strange much faster than I anticipated. And I've been playing a whole heap of this. Again, another PC game, but I actually prefer, when I played Skyrim and I prefer it in Fallout, I actually prefer gamepad controls for these Bethesda open world games, particularly because I like to play in third person, which again is probably anathema to many, many of you. I like playing in third person, and I prefer console controls a lot of the times because it feels more visceral. Like it feels more like that the actions that you're taking correspond to some physical action that you're performing. So I like the way movement works compared to a mouse and keyboard. And for some reason, it's not motion sickness, but I've always found mouse and keyboard just a little bit disorienting, which is probably why I'm not a big fan of FPS games in the first place. I've been playing this in survival mode, which is a really painful, but really, I don't know, I kind of find it masochistically fun way to play the game. So, the way survival mode works, so Fallout 4 games, like Fallout games, basically open world games, you sort of go across a wasteland, post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear war, you scavenge for things, you go around killing people. What survival mode does is it puts a whole bunch of restrictions. I think it was introduced in a patch. Survival mode means no quick saving, no saving at all, actually, no manual saving until you find a place to sleep. And once you sleep, like you find a mattress or something, you sleep, the game will auto-save. The game, survival mode means that you have to eat and drink water, otherwise you will die. You have to sleep, otherwise you'll die, or you'll get very fatigued. You have severely limited weight restrictions, so you can't carry a huge amount of stuff, because basically in most of these Bethesda games, these open world games, you're just like a pack rat. You just like pick everything up on the ground, which is useful, but not particularly immersive. And also, what's the other restriction? No fast travel. That's a big one. No fast travel. So you cannot travel across the map very quickly by clicking points in the map. If you want to go somewhere, it actually becomes a journey. And, it is a really annoying way to play the game because there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can't do. But at the same time, what I really like about survival mode on Fallout 4 and what I liked about Skyrim, actually, when I installed mods and stuff like that, I think Bethesda games are the problem I have with them is that they're very open world, they're very shallow in the sense that there's a lot of things for you to do. There's a lot of things for you to do, but the things that you do maybe aren't always that interesting. So a lot of your enjoyment of the game I found with these Bethesda open world games is that is a sense of the world building. It's the sense of being in a place and being in the world And in the case of Skyrim, it's traveling across that world and going to the different places and getting that sense of exploration and of that world of possibilities. And when you play in a mode like survival mode on Fallout 4, it really forces you to to be in that world and to not kind of game the system so much as, you have to sort of, if I want to go, like I've played so many hours now and I'm trying to get from the beginning to Diamond City, which is in the middle of the map. And, before you trek out, you have to make sure that you have your ammo, you have to make sure you have water, purified water, because radiation is a big problem. You make sure you have food. And then you can get sort of halfway through and then you go into this combat encounter and then you die. And then because there's no quick saving, it's like 20, 30 minutes of gameplay that had just been completely wasted. So you had to roll back. It's really, it's excruciating, but at the same time, there's a real sense of narrative in that for me. Like I get a sense of reward in this kind of going like, okay, so today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go out to the city and scavenge every single house because I need everything in this bombed out city. I need to bring it back to my settlement to build some stuff so that I can grow food and water that I can bring with me on trips so that I can survive when I go out again. And there's that sort of cycle that makes these things really important in a way that I think they probably wouldn't be. Like, I'm guessing the settlement mechanic, because you can build settlements in Fallout 4 and you can populate your kind of opening settlement. I don't think I'd find that mechanic very compelling if I was in normal game mode, because I just wouldn't care. It would just seem finicky, a bunch of stuff that you had to do. I wouldn't fuss around too much. But in survival mode, because I need a home base, I need to be able to go back to a settlement where I can deposit all my junk. And I'm gonna have to keep coming back to it, and I'm gonna have to manually walk the whole way through. I need it to be well defended. I need for it to have stable water and food supplies. So it's really a system which forces you to kind of role play with the systems of the game, which is really cool. That's like what I can say about this. Like I've really kind of enjoyed this more than perhaps I did Skyrim. I think with Skyrim, I'm going to wait until I can get the special edition with the Skyrim script extender, and then I'm going to install a bunch of those mods like Frostfall and stuff, try a kind of survival run of Skyrim closer to something like this. I'm going to drop into the live chat just to see. Let's Play in High Def says 3/4 of your time in survival will be spent walking to and from your home to empty your inventory. Exactly. Yes, that has been my experience. Actually, right now I'm in this segment where I'm going to this supermarket in Lexington, and it's full of ghouls, and I can't cope with ghouls in that I have very poor kind of fast twitch responses. So I mean, I've done this like 4 or 5 times now where I've sneaked. Is it snuck or sneaked? I sneak into the Super Duper Mart. There's a robot I activate that goes around, a Protectron, goes around shooting up all the ghouls, which are like zombies, but radiation kind of mutated zombie people. It's going around through all of this, and you can activate it and make it go shoot everyone. The problem is that I go, hey, I'm going to turn this robot and it's going to make a circuit, kill all the ghouls. So the robot comes out, makes a circuit around the place. It kills a few of the ghouls, but there's still a few hiding that don't get activated by the robot. So I sort of sneak in to activate the kind of clusters of the ghouls, and they come running up. And then I turn around to try and run back to the robot, and I realize the robot's not there. I don't know where the robot went. I wasn't watching where it kind of went behind a corner. So I had to run around the supermarket and trying to find the robot to kill these ghouls, because I know that I'm not going to be able to activate the gamepad to load a weapon fast enough. And if I have a weapon in my hand, the robot will shoot me. So I'm trying to find the robot, running around, activating all the remaining ghouls in the supermarket. All the ghouls come and find the robot, and then they beat the robot to death. and then they turn around and follow me, and I'm like, I need to run out of this supermarket. I run out of the door, the ghouls run after me, and then they thump me, and then it's like 2 hits, and then you're dead in survival mode, because you just don't want to get hit by anything in survival mode, because you put out a lot more damage, but the people also put out a lot more damage, so it's a lot more sudden death kind of situations. Really annoying, and I keep throwing my head against a brick wall, just doing this over and over again, like in Hotline Miami, just doing the same thing over and over again, because I'm trying to crack this. I'm trying to work out. It's sort of like Hitman, where you're trying to work out exactly what the sequence of events is that will let you achieve what you want to do in that space without letting things spiral out of control. And I'm not sure whether I just need to come back later, because the enemies scale with your level in Fallout to a certain degree. So I don't know if I'm just under-leveled for this particular area. But yeah, that's the sort of thing that I've been going through. I very much wanted to live stream some of this, but the PS4 Pro has just said, it just told me, hey, your internet's too slow. Your stupid Australian internet is way too slow to do this stupid streaming thing, so we're not letting you do it, so that sucks. Blazer Star asks, did you play Fallout 3? I did indeed play Fallout 3. I did not actually enjoy it as much, but maybe that was just before I discovered that I had this fixation on playing. I used to really not enjoy playing difficult games. I would play games on easy and then play with cheats. I guess that was when I was a kid. You'd play, StarCraft power overwhelming. Oh, great. And then I realized that actually I get very bored of games now when I play them when they're easy, because I feel like that they're just a series of carrot and sticks and playing on this sort of, like, basically a lot of games I play them until I realize this is actually just an escalating series of numbers. Like, that's basically what it is. The mechanics boil down to, I do this thing, it makes this number go up. And I figured out that, like, I get very bored once I figure out that that's what the game is about, or what I can get out of the game. But with, when I started playing games like FTL, permadeath games, a lot of games where, again, I'm not like a sort of hardcore sort of permadeath sort of player. I do get frustrated. But when there's more at stake, like when you actually feel like, yeah, it's 20 minutes of game time are going to be wasted if I don't successfully pull off whatever I'm trying to do in Fallout 4. It's sort of more exciting. Rohan Espada asks, so no immediate plans for your playthrough channel? I could actually try and work out how to use the current setup I'm using now to live stream from the PS4 Pro, but because there's copy protection on the HDMI, I think I need some sort of HDMI copy protection stripper to make it work. I'm sorry if any feds are listening or whatever. I'm not going to do anything like what I just said. But it's annoying because the upload speed, which is why this is 720p at the moment that you're getting, the upload speed in this place is 2.5 megabits upload, which is pathetic. 100 megabits down, I can't complain about that. 2.5 megabits up, that's Australian internet for you. And this is one of the best consumer grade internet connections that you can get in Australia. If I was back at my old place when that was like a 10-10 connection, it was 10 megabits down, 10 megabits up, it'd be all good, because 10 megabits up, I would kill for 10 megabits up. I'm happy to go with 10 megabits down if I could get 10 megabits up. But no, it's 100 up, 100 down, 2.5 up here. Annoying. Okay, so Baked Hamsters asked, have you played The Binding of Isaac, real good roguelike game? I actually have played it. I played a great deal of it on my Vita. It's actually a really fun kind of game. Never got very far in it. Probably about the second or third dungeon. I just die very quickly. I don't have a very good... I'm not very coordinated as a person, but it was really quite fun. So the other game I have is Life is Strange. Now, Life is Strange has been interesting because I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of bad things about this game. It's very twee. I don't know how else to put it. It's sort of very earnest, kind of twee Instagram filter kind of game, the writing is really awkward in parts because I don't know if I ever talked that way or people did talk that way or any sort of people did talk the way they talk in this game. Like most of the times the writing is okay, and then occasionally you get people who just say things that are just very contrived. There is a famous line from this game which is "fuck your selfie, go fuck your selfie," which I think is actually pretty decent kind of one-liner, but it tells you the quality of some of the writing in this game. That said, it's a game where you sort of have this time reversing mechanic, time travel mechanic. It's still a really engaging game. Like I still, despite the kind of iffy writing, I do have a genuine affection for the characters in the game. I feel like that the characters have a decent amount of characterization behind them. I think the art direction on this game is really strong. Like despite the textures and the kind of models being quite low complexity, it looks really cohesive in terms of its visual appearance, and also in terms of the sound design, the kind of music that they use. It's really it's a compelling storyline, I think. Like the way I've been playing it, the kind of playthrough that I've gotten, a lot of kind of, like Yuri kind of will they, won't they between the main character and a best friend, which I don't know where that will go. But I'm enjoying this. Like I've played through this really quickly. I've been taking a little, I've taken a bit of a break from this because I started playing Fallout 4 and then I kind of watched that, I've fallen down that Fallout 4 hole, so I've taken a little bit of break for it, but it's fun. I would still recommend this. Even I feel like with this sort of game, you either know that you're going to enjoy it or you don't, or you won't. And I can tell. I think you could watch the trailer for this game and you'd work out immediately if you'd like the kind of game that this is, because it is. It's very twee. I'll put it that way. So, Blazer Star says, so many games I want to know if you have or have not played. If we have time for like a Q&A, like sort of extended Q&A session, I'll let you know how that's working. But Rohan says, Kaoru is his waifu. Kaoru is sort of a waifu, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's sort of funny because when I watched Evangelion the first time, when I was younger and more impressionable, that was probably the first thing I ever watched which had a sort of homoerotic relationship, which is what I recognize it was now. At the time, I didn't really think too much about it. It was like, oh, they seem like really good friends. And Kaoru sounds like a really good listener. And at the time, I had a lot of, I guess you would say, sympathy for Shinji at the time, because I felt like, my life sucks and I'm kind of stuck in this place. And I had a lot of empathy for Shinji as a character. So for Kaoru to come along, and he comes along basically at the end, he comes along at the end and a bunch of terrible stuff has happened, and then he comes in and he's sort of this angel that saves everything. It was sort of like, I went and like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I had a really cool friend like that who would just come in and would have this deep bond. Nowadays, I kind of look back and go like, Shinji is annoying. He's really whiny, but I guess I was whiny at that time. Kaoru, I hate what they've done to him in the new Rebuild movies because he's just so, it's like fan service. It's basically fan service. He's not a compelling character in that sense. He just says a whole bunch of, oh, looks like you and I were fated to meet. Let's play piano together. That sort of thing. It's really, really annoying, but Kaoru is awesome character. I think for a character who appears for like 13 minutes in the original series. Pedro says, I have no idea what he's talking about. Oh, Pedro. Okay, so last game that I have here is Until Dawn, which I haven't played that much of, but I will say I played the introductory sequence of this game like 10 times now already, because I've played it a few times with friends, and I played it, okay, maybe not 10 times, maybe 3 times. Then I bought this so that I could play this like every, episodically with my sister. Don't know if she's going to be able to do that because she's going to have a baby very soon, so I don't know if she's going to have time to play it. But it's funny because when my sister and I played Heavy Rain, she somehow managed to play the game in a way that she killed every single character in the game except the bad character. And it's hilarious because it's almost like she intended to get the worst possible ending. And she just somehow failed every single prompt that led to the death of every character except for the one character who is the bad guy. It was hilarious. So we're off to a good start with Until Dawn, because in the opening scene, you have a choice between killing one person or killing both people. She killed both of them. And afterwards, it's always like, I didn't know that would happen. Like, what did you think would happen if you're both hanging off a cliff edge and you let go of the cliff edge? What do you think will happen to you? They both die. That kind of sucks. So everyone wants to know if I have a bae. They're all asking me. I do not currently have a bae. I'm married to my thesis right now. So once that is done, then I will surely go on that lonely quest. Yeah. So I hope that is some personal information that is relevant to you and it was worth knowing. Yes. Pomfinator says, after 3.0, I'm done with the rebuild movies. It was so terrible. I will agree. I could make an entire video, and maybe I will one day, an entire video about why 3.0 is such rubbish. Not according to some people. Some people gave 3.0 a 10 out of 10. There are some people in this chat right now who know who they are, who know who I am talking about, who gave 3.0 a very, very high score on my anime list, and who will just always disappoint me for that fact. Okay, so we're at the end of the PS4 Pro section. I'm just going to pop in. This is a great discussion. This is great because I just, right now, I want to be this here for the real time. What is a waifu? What is a waifu indeed? Many people have asked this question. And Baked Hamster offers us the gem that a waifu is an anime wife. But is that true? Is that all a waifu is? I think, so a waifu is like a meme where people go, they kind of, I think, evolved out of people arguing about which female anime characters from a particular anime were their favorite and who they would like to have as a companion or as a wife in real life. The phrase waifu itself, and let me just go put on my full weeb mode on, but I believe waifu, that actual particular way of saying it, originates from Azumanga Daioh, when the creepy teacher Kimura sensei refers to his beautiful wife as mine waifu. And then I think that was popularized on 4chan for whatever reason. I don't know if it was 4chan, but you can basically make the assumption that if it's a meme, it's probably going to come from 4chan. So waifus are like this. To me, what I can tell from the meme is that it's your waifu. It's about who you like most in a anime, but it's also I think it's an ironic joke about how there is a fair degree of irony attached to the concept of waifu, because it's this ironic acknowledgement of the idea that people can get obsessed with anime and they can obsess about particular characters and imagine a world in which they don't have to deal with 3D girls anymore, and they date anime characters, and it's sort of an in-joke among anime fans about how sort of sad and desperate the fandom is. I think that's my interpretation of the waifu meme. I think it's one of my favored memes that you see, and it's nice to see weeb culture popping up everywhere, all over the world, because then I can feel less like I'll be persecuted one day for crimes against hentai or something one day in the future, because I believe anime crimes will one day be a real thing in the future. There will be like waifu crimes, maybe in 20 or 30 years time, when we've worked out how to bring Hatsune Miku out of VR and into a sentient robotic AI, and terrible, terrible things will happen when that happens. And I'm sure, mark my words, that's my future prediction, that anime crimes will be a real thing. And yes, I probably didn't make up that joke. I swear I've read it somewhere else before, or I retweeted someone who said that, but it seems very, very, very possible. Okay, so we're approaching the end of the stream today. One thing that Pomfinator says, what is the deal with Ahegao? You are very welcome to Google that, because that is a meme that I will not get too much into today. But yeah, that would be. I always think of the Shakespeare quote: "The quality of mercy is not strained," and then you replace mercy with anything like the quality of waifu is not strained, or the quality of Ahegao is not strained. But I won't get too far down this rabbit hole. Go ahead and look that up if you are curious about what the hell am I talking about. But I feel like Stephen Stu asked, how did we get to Ahegao? I feel like it's a natural trend from waifu to Ahegao, but I don't even know if this makes the stream adults only. Like, I actually don't know, because these terms are so specific that if you know what they are, then I guess they're obscene. But if you don't know what they are, then you're kind of like, is he talking about some sort of weird, like, okra-like vegetable or something? Oh, some guy meant to say ahoge, and it came out that way. So an ahoge is a idiot hair, I believe. I actually always forget how to spell that. Anyway, I actually am going to take a momentary break, and I'll be right back in just a moment. And we're back. Okay, so we're back. In the break, I went and looked at the camera, and then I determined that the camera did in fact stop recording because it's overheating, because it's Sony. So there will not be a better version of this uploaded. This will be the version that you'll get, because I don't actually have the original video footage to put together a better upload. That's what I was doing. I was clearly not going off to do some research on Ahegao in that break. So what we're going to do now is I am going to announce the first command from the Cabal as decided by the Cabal. So again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Cabal commands is a new segment that I decided to set up for fun, where members of the Shadowy Cabal, from my Patreon supporters, they get together and convene and conspire and scheme, and then they tell me a video that they demand that I make. So they will tell me what I have to do, and I have a month to make the video, and I've asked them not to give me anything that's too ridiculous or too illegal or too potentially lethal or too humiliating. So I've gotten the first request for this month, and the request is: the Cabal has a command you were to watch your first YouTube video and record a reaction video and commentary for it. So I won't lie, I actually knew what they said before because we had to come up with one thing to sort of launch it, but in the future all of them will be sort of secret. Hopefully that there will be an element of surprise for me when I unwrap the paper, but I'm not going to pretend to be super surprised right now. But I think that's going to be exciting because my first YouTube videos have been terrible. Were pretty bad. You can go and watch them if you're curious, or you can wait until I upload the reaction video and commentary. The thing I always tell people, A, make a YouTube channel, because making a YouTube channel is really cool. I learn a lot of stuff from making a YouTube channel. I am so glad that I made the decision to launch a YouTube channel, because a lot of things that you don't know until you do them, and I learn a great deal. And when I tell people, go do it, make a YouTube channel, if you've got something that you're interested in, just go out and make it. And then they'll say, but I will suck, I don't know how to make videos, and all the YouTube videos that I watch from people, they look so good, how am I going to do it? And I always tell them, well, go back and watch the first video of your favorite people on YouTube, because you'll find that they're routinely garbage. And, and the reason why that they're so good today is not because they were born with the ability to make really good YouTube videos, because that doesn't work. It's because they made YouTube videos, and then a whole bunch of people said that your videos suck, and this is the reason why they suck, and you suck, and you're a terrible person, and learning so many different languages and ways to insult people, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, people are telling you, like, some people will go like, yeah, it was kind of cool, but you might need to fix that. And it's a slow, iterative process where you kind of take into feedback, and that's the really important thing, is that you can't be a kind of person who looks at the feedback and just goes, well, I'm just going to argue with you right now on YouTube comments about this insult that you're giving me about my crappy video. That is the sort of thing. So going back and watching the first video is important. So I'm getting a sense that the video stream is stuttering right now, which is kind of annoying. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I worked out exactly what the problem was. It was my mum was taking a FaceTime call on our local Wi-Fi, which means that the amazing 2.5 megabit upload bandwidth that I have here was completely saturated, which is why you may have heard what you just heard. Good thing is that it's working now, and we're right at the end anyway. What I was just saying was that when you go back to watching anyone's first video, when they make YouTube videos, their first videos suck, and it's because a whole bunch of people, the videos suck, and then a whole bunch of people tell you suck, and you're a terrible person, and they insult you in various languages. But you sort of get better as long as you can take that criticism and kind of build on it. So what I tell people is, make YouTube videos. The worst case scenario, if you make terrible videos, no one will watch them. So no one has to know you're ashamed. And if you make good videos, people will watch them. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. So I will do that. I will record a commentary and a reaction video to my first video within a month. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to have another Thingcast in a month. Thank you so much for joining me. And also, if you want to join in on live streams on the sort of regular other videos that I make, you can do that if you're a Patreon supporter. So head on over to patreon.com/LachlanLikesAthing. We got a bunch of cool perks for you. The Discord server is really fun. You can kind of have a chat with me and everyone else there. And lastly, the Command of the Cabal is the $15 sort of superfan tier. Again, thank you so much to all my supporters. That's really, really helpful. And I will see you later. Bye!